Hello, Kelly here with Kelly Soroka Life, and happy Friday if you're watching this live or watching this on this day of the replay. Then it is Friday, and I hope that you're having a great day. So, this reading is one that I created about a year ago, and I wanted to create my own readings, and especially around topics that I was going through or things that I wanted to really be more specific in. And so this was one of those readings that I created, and it's called Navigating Negative Emotions. And at the time, I was going through something very hard, and something in that happened in my family that was very difficult for me to really deal with. And I wanted to have something to help me with these negative emotions, because sometimes negative emotions are okay. I mean, we all have negative emotions. That we get angry, we are sad, we feel grief, we feel jealousy, we feel spite, and we feel all these things because we're human beings, and we have this wide range of emotions that we work with. And it's okay to have those, because we all have them for some reason or another. We all have uh, emotions, and differing emotions, and we can feel lots of different emotions at the same time. You may feel really happy about something, but then feel just very angry about something else. And this one I thought was a good one to come back to, especially this time, because it seems like, I don't know, to me, it seems like there's just so much negativity out there. There's just so much negative emotions, and so much negativity that is not handled well, and is trying to bring other people down. And that's when negative emotions become not helpful, and become not something that we're learning from and we're working through, but it's something that is starting to hold us back. So, this I'm going to be doing a reading for all of us here today, in just navigating negative emotions, in looking at something specific that is maybe affecting all of us, and all of us here today, all of us in society. If you're watching, you can see this and see if it has to do with you, and how it is affecting you in this way. And so today, there's 5 questions with this reading, Navigating Negative Emotions. And I will have the questions posted for you on the YouTube, on the post page, and I'll also put it on my Facebook page, and as an Instagram post. So you can find it lots of different ways, and you can do this reading for yourself. You can answer the questions, you can do, meditation, however you work with the questions. And today we're working with this is the Spolia Tarot by, I forget the author's name, by Jen May and Jessica Crispin. So this is a deck that is an older deck, and it is now out of print, but I thought that it was a really good deck to use for today, because it's a collage deck, but it has lots of space in it. And I thought that working with emotions, especially when we're trying to work through a difficult emotion, we want to have some space, and we want to have something that we're able to breathe and we're able to open up to. So that I'm using. And also, I just a plug, I have a video that I just put out that is on my channel now that you can go to, where I look at 3 out of print decks and look at mass market decks that I think that have the same kind of vibe. And so if you like the deck, but it's out of print and difficult to get, or it, cost prohibitive to get, then there are, alternatives out there. And so I didn't do the Spolia tarot, but I thought this might be another one I can do for that, for a next video. So let's get started with the questions. So, question number 1: what negative emotion are we navigating right now? And so here we have the 8 of coins, or the 8 of pentacles. And you see the coins here, and they're all coins of different sizes and different shapes. And there's a person in the background working on these coins and doing some work. And that is what the 8 of coins is about, or 8 of pentacles is about working and keeping work on something. And this person is creating these coins and doing it so that you are getting better at it, not where you're trying to be perfect at it, but where you're trying to get better with each thing. And so negatively, that is coming out as this place of, we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and nothing changes. So, and that is, a lot of, I feel like that, these days, is that, the same things just keep coming up over and over and over again. And there's, it's so hard to focus. It's so hard to think, how do we make a change? How do we make a difference? And how do we get to that point where things are looking like there is an improvement, and not just the same old things all the time. So we'll go from that, negative emotion of just feeling stuck, of feeling like we're doing something over and over again, and we're not seeing any results. So then, question number 2 is, how is this negative emotion causing pain? And so here we have the 6 of Wands. And you see here the 6 of Wands, this person on a horse, and has, and is celebrating, is looks like, celebrating. The horse is kind of happy, the person's, going forward and, moving ahead. And the 6 of Wands is that traditional card of celebration, of victory, of, having, something go right. And so this negative emotion is causing us pain because we don't see a victory. We don't feel like there is anything that we can celebrate. And so we just keep doing the same thing over and over again, with no victory, with no win, even, just a small win. And so, moving on to question number 3. So, how is this negative emotion affecting our personalities? So, how how are we expressing this, and it's not being helpful? So here we have the Hanged Man. And you see the Hanged Man is there hanging upside down, and with a very different view on life, and looking at life from a different perspective. But first, you notice that the person is tied to the tree. The their foot is tied to the tree. And so right now there's this pause, there's this place of being stuck, of feeling like, no matter how I look at this situation, it just doesn't change. And so that is affecting our personality, in that we're really trying to make a difference. We're really trying to make something, to make a change. And we want to have something to celebrate, and but it's just keeping us in this very stuck place. So let's move on, and let's get a what can we do about it now? How can we start to resolve this? So, question number 4 is, what does this emotion have to tell you right now? So, what is our message from this emotion right now? And this is the King of Wands. And I think this is a beautiful card to have in this question, because it's telling us that something, that change is coming, that there you see the fire, it's the wands, and we're going to find that 6 of wands, we're going to find that victory by taking taking charge, by taking bringing in that king energy, bringing in that energy of being a leader, and doing something that is personal, and that might be very small. It doesn't have to be, something huge. It doesn't have to be something life changing. It's just one small little change that is going to start the fire, is going to start lighting this fire, and that fire is going to grow. And it might just grow within you, it might just grow within your heart, within your soul. But then, that light is going to shine, and it's going to shine to other people, and it's going to start spreading. And whether you do it consciously or not, that king energy is going to shine and spread. So that emotion, that feeling of stuckness, let yourself, just be stuck for a minute. But then, as you're in this stuck place and thinking, how have I gone about this situation, and still not had any kind of resolution. And so let yourself be stuck and say, I just don't feel good about it. But now we're going to take the hangman's advice as well with the King of Wands, and look at the situation in a different light, and looking at it from a different perspective, so that you can get an answer, and get a way to start navigating through this emotion. So, the last question number 5 is, how can you separate the negativity from this emotion? So, we still need to keep this knowledge that we've gotten, that things are hard, and we're trying to do something, and we've been trying to do it over and over again, and it's not working, and that we need to look at it from a different perspective. And so then, when we start to bring in that fire, and start to bring in that creativity, and about how to look at this situation in a different way, and moving forward, then we're going to separate the negativity and turn it into a positive action that we can go forward with. So here we have the 10 of coins. I think it's just a little bit blurry. Let me bring it in. Maybe it'll be a little bit not so blurry. But they're the 10 of coins, or the 10 of pentacles. And so here we started with the 8, where we're just doing something over and over again, and we moved it to the 10 of coins. And here we can separate it by that growth, by taking that creativity and growing, by taking that new perspective and really expanding on it, because we've gone from the 8 and now we're going to the 10. And the 10 is the card of, finding a place where you're really happy and that you're making a difference and you're making a change. Even if it's, again, even if it's something that you feel like that is very, very small, it's making that one little change that's going to turn that 6 of wands from trying to find that celebration to actually making it a celebration and making it something that you have, that you are really proud of, and that you know that you can feel good about going forward. So in that way, looking at it, and it is really hard to have that emotion where you feel like that you are just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it just never changes. It never gets different. It never makes a difference. But we're going to change that. We're going to look at the situation from a different perspective, and it may be that it may be a situation that we need to leave behind, that it is, we're trying to change it, and it's just not in our ability to change. And so the Hanged Man is letting us know that that's okay, that's okay to leave it behind, and it's okay to say, this is not something I can work with anymore, or that I can be a part of anymore. And that's okay. And making that little change, making it so that you can start your path of of leaving this situation or separating yourself from that situation, it's okay. And sometimes it's a situation that you might say, you know, if I maybe come at this at a different way, I can make a difference. I can make at least myself feel better, if in dealing with this situation and dealing with, whatever it is. And it can be something, again, something very small that you're dealing with, something, on a larger scale, or it can just be, dealing with the world these days, and the things that are, that are coming at us every day, that, having, very little respect for the earth, losing touch with nature, the wars, and I mean, just the, thinking that we have gotten past a point of being, having wars and fighting each other, and and climate change and AI and all the changes that are happening. All these things are these just, big things, these 8 of coins things that are just coming at us, day after day after day. And you might not feel like that you can celebrate anything, but you can change your perspective. You can maybe just turn off the news, or just for a while, or, look at how you can do something, just in your own, in your own way. Maybe you really want to make a difference in the environment. And so just choose one thing to do differently. Choose, buy something that is recyclable, that that when you're done with it, then you can recycle it. Something like that you can do that, and all those little things make a difference. And we get from that 8 and we move to that 10 of coins, where where we've made a difference, and we've made a difference especially for ourselves. All right, that is it for today's reading. And I know, let's just if you're here, take a moment wherever you are watching this or listening to this, just take a moment to just breathe, and to take a breath, kind of drop in to your heart, drop into that place where you can become present, so that you can look at things from a different perspective, and you can, move from that stuck place to a place where you want to go forward and move forward. All right, that's it for our reading today. And I will have all the links and things that you need down in the comment section. I'll have, like I said, the post of the questions. I'll have it in on the YouTube post page, on my Facebook page, and in Instagram. And all of that, all of those links are down below so that you can find those as well. And then I'll also link the video with the out of print decks that I just did. And I think that's it for today. So next week, today I had to do the reading a little bit later. But next week we'll go back to the 11 o'clock time. And so the next reading will be next Friday at 11. And so I'll have posts about that as well when the time comes. All right. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye.